In the following video, I'm going to look at creating a site from start to finish using WordPress.com. This will be a static site. It will not be set up as a blogging site. So the first thing I do is visit WordPress.com. And if I don't have a site already, I click on Getting Started. I already have an account, so I'm going to log in. Since I already have an account with WordPress.com, I can now go to the area at the top that says My Blogs. WordPress started out as a blogging tool, but it's definitely being used by many as what's referred to a lot of times as microsites or small websites. If you start getting into very large websites, institutional sites, especially, you see that they will often move to other content management systems. Some go to an open source content management system like Drupal, but WordPress definitely gives you the tools needed to build out a very simple site. So I have some sites that I've already created, but I'm going to click on this create a new blog at the bottom. And now I'll go through and I'm going to say UP test site. And it looks like I got the green check, so it's available. So I'm just going to keep this as my site. It'll be viewable to everybody. And I'm going to go under the free column and say create blog. uptestsite.wordpress.com is available and it's mine now. So I'm going to click on visit the dashboard. So now that I'm in the dashboard, there's a couple things I want to do. In the upper left, I see this drop down here at the very top says my site. That's the name I gave for this site. So if I click on that, I can see that this is the current state of my website. So I have the name in the upper left hand corner, the WordPress.com site is the bee's knees, home and about, and it says no posts to display. So I'm going to jump in here, and before I go change anything, I'm going to create a couple pages. So I'm going to create an initial page that I'm going to call welcome, and this is going to be the first page of my site since I'm moving away from it being a blogging site. Under screen options, I'm making sure that I have discussion here checked. The reason for that is I want to make sure that I unallow all of the discussion items and click on publish. Okay, so I've created the welcome page. I'm going to jump down on my site to settings and over to reading. Since I'm setting it up as a static site, I'm going to choose from posts to a static page, and the front page of my site is going to be that welcome page. Scrolling down to the bottom, clicking on Save Changes. I'm going to click on the My Sites in the upper left-hand corner, and now we see that the site is set up with, again, the content information at the top, the home, about, and we have a page called Welcome. If we don't want the welcome to show up at the top of the page, I often will go in and actually remove the name of that, remove the name of the page itself from here, clicking on update. So that way I don't, clicking on the My Site in the upper left, I don't have the word welcome that appears on the front. So we have the text for the front of my site. This is going to be the first page of the site. We have a menu because this theme actually has the menu down the middle of the site. And we have a home and an about page. So if I wanted to start adding pages to my overall site, I can go to My Site, down to New, and over to Page. I'm going to create a new page called Products, and going down and unchecking the discussion items. There's a setting in here that you can automatically have these be unchecked every time you create a new page, but I'm going there just to reinforce the fact that we want to make sure for pages I typically will turn off any discussion items, clicking on Publish. I will create another new page under Products, and we're going to call this one just Product 1. So this would be the first product of that series. Going down and unchecking, and clicking on Publish. Now, if I go to my site, so what ends up happening is every new page that I add is added to the menu across the top, but I don't want it set up this way. I actually want Products 1 underneath Products. So I go to My Site, and I want to go down to the dashboard. So under Appearance, I'm going to go into Menus. Whenever I set up a site, I make sure that I create a menu. So I want to actually create the menu. So over on the right-hand side, we're given a menu name. So I'm going to go ahead and keep the name Menu 1 and just click on Create Menu. So we have a Menu 1 created. We have the options that are currently in here. And if I want to keep those, I can keep them, or I can drag them into order. I can click the arrow on the right to remove items. So I'm going to remove a couple items, keeping the About. And what I need to do now is actually take this Product 1, and I'm going to move it underneath Products and click Save Menu. So now I have a menu that has an About, Products, and then a submenu item that's Product 1. I need to go to the top here under Manage Locations, and this theme only has one menu option. Every theme will have different menu options, so you really need to find themes that work the best for you. So I'm going to choose Menu 1 to be set as the primary menu for this theme. Going up to the upper left to the My Site, and now we have an About, and we have Products with a subcategory or a subpage of Product 1. Now we can start looking at, customizing the site, adding additional pages, adding content to those pages, changing out the header graphic, and adding content, video content, and graphic content to our site. Again, to add another page, I go to My Site, down to New, Page. For this one, I'm going to put HR, or maybe we'll put Job Postings. And I'm just going to put the jobs, making sure to uncheck the items below, and clicking on Publish, going to Appearance, down to Menus. I want to make sure that this gets added to my Menu 1. So here's my job postings on the left, clicking on Add to Menu, clicking on Save, going to the upper left to My Site, and now we see that we have our site with the About, Products, and now we have a page for job postings, which has the text of the jobs that we put in there. Now, sometimes people want to add video to a site, so I just went over to YouTube and found a video that I built in the past, and I just grabbed the URL from the top portion of your browser. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create a new page that I'm going to call Video Tutorials. All I'm going to do is drop that YouTube video into the page. Again, I'm going to uncheck a few of the items at the bottom for sharing unless I wanted people to give comments. Clicking on Publish, going to the menu, I'm going to add video tutorials to my site, clicking on Save. In the upper left, clicking on My Site. Now I have a page added to my site called Video Tutorials, and YouTube videos will auto-embed. So it's just a feature of WordPress. All you'd have to do is put the URL and we'll get an auto embed of that video. I'm going to add another page to my site that's going to be for images. I'm going to do images. Going down to the bottom, I'm unchecking again, just so I don't have them there, clicking on Publish. So the page itself was set up. I'm going to click in my page and add a photo. So I'm clicking on Add Media. I'm going to select the file that I want to upload. And on my desktop I have a couple images waiting, and so I'm going to grab this dog cat 1 image. Clicking on Open, it now uploads that video, or uploads that image. Under the alt text, I want to make sure I put image of dog and cat, and this is for accessibility. When the image is added to my site, I have the option to where it will actually link. If it's a very large image, I can have it be small within the site and then have it to where you can click on it to actually view the larger image. So that's off to the right hand side here, but I'm just going to go ahead and click on Insert into Page. So now I have that image in my page. Now this is the same way that you would add documents. So I have a Word document that I've added to my desktop. So I'm going to go to Add Media again. I'm going to Upload Files, selecting File, this test.docx, clicking on Open will upload that file, and the title of the file here is how it's going to be posted into the site. So it's currently set to test, but if I wanted, I could put this as document 1 and click Insert to the page. We see that I now have a document 1. I might want that as a bulleted item. I click Update, and I can click on View Page. And now I see I have a page called Images with this document below. I forgot to put it in the menu at the top, so again, you would go into the dashboard, under Appearance and Menus, putting a checkbox next to the page called Images, clicking on Add, and Save to Menu. Again, if I want to have things as drop-downs underneath others, I could always have video tutorials and images be under Products, clicking on Save, going up to the My Site. Now I have my site set up with a static front page. I have About, I have Products with 3 pages underneath with content, and my job postings page. Now if you want to start customizing this more, you can go under the dashboard, you can go under Appearance and Themes, and you can start picking out different themes that might suit your site better. So for my site, I'm going to jump down and just randomly grab one of these ones. So Expound, I'm going to click on Activate. I'm going to visit the site to see what it looks like. Now we notice that all of our pages are spread across the top here. So what we need to do is make sure that we go under our menu section and go to our Manage Locations and kind of see what we have here. It looks like there's just the one menu location, so we just need to reset that menu. Clicking on Save Changes, going back out to my site, and again I have the drop downs for those pages, and my main page is set to static. Now this particular theme on the right hand side has this side column. Now that is a widget area. So under the widget area I can go to My Sites, down to Widgets, and I can drag and drop content into that sidebar. So in this case I have a search. I'm going to leave the search, but I'm going to delete all this content that's relating to the blogging functions of the website. I'm going to go under Categories, remove that as well, and I'm going to remove the meta. So maybe on the right hand side I want to put just some text information. I might put a social widget on that side so people can follow me, but I'm going to put contact info, Sam Williams, and my email address. Often we'll see other menus and those kind of things on the right hand side. So if I did build out other menus, I can put a custom menu on the right hand side. In this case we only have the menu 1. So if I was to click Save, what you'll see now, if I go to the My Site, is that I have some pages that are underneath the menu 1 that are now displayed on the right hand side. I have that text document that I put in there that had said contact info and my information, and I have the search. So widgets really allow you to drag and drop anything into that sidebar that you would need for your site. You don't always have to enforce the use of the sidebar if you don't want to. Again, it's based on theme and whether or not you turn on or off the sidebar region. Under Appearance is also where you would go under the header. So this particular site has a header that is 1020 pixels in width, and the height is set to 154. So when I go to set up a Photoshop document, so I'm going to jump into Photoshop. I was actually playing around with some graphics here. So I'm going to do 1020 by 154. And I'm just going to create a header that's just a solid color for right now, just to demonstrate this, maybe with black text on it. Of course, you would get a lot more sophisticated than this. Do a save for web. Do a save here as a PNG and just save it to the desktop. And I'm going to choose this file that's on my desktop called Untitled1, clicking on Open and Upload. We can do the crop and publish. And I don't want my site to appear on there because I have the words text on there. So I'm actually going to remove the header text from my site, clicking on Save. I'm going to visit the site to preview the site. Now we see that I have a site that has a header on it with just the words text across it. I have my About, my Products, my job posting, and some right-hand column information.